नमस्ते नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते भगिनी। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः ध्रुवानीतिर्मतिर्मम यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतेस्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि महापापादिपापानि गीताध्ययनं करोति चेत् क्वचित् स्पर्शं न कुर्वन्ति नलिनीदलम् अम्बुवत् गीतायाः पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागादीनि तत्र वै यत्र गीताविचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्र अहं निश्चितं पृथ्वीं निवसामि सदैव हि चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुन वेदत्रयी परानन्दा तत्त्वार्थज्ञानसंयुता अष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम् गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम् मन्दारगन्धसंयुक्तं चारुहासं चतुर्भुजं बर्हि पिच्छावचूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् रुक्मिणीकेलिसंयुक्तं पीताम्बरसुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमूतसन्निभं यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् अस्तु. So we have to start the 34th shloka today of the 4th adhyaya. Murti Mahodaya patitum shakyate va? Murti Mahodaya?
पठितुं शक्नोमि फोर्थ अध्याय
34.
34 okay just 1 minute
Page number 226.
okay last class I am attended this is fourth or third I am reading it तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः पदविभागं तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः तत् सुबन्ता that is dakaranta I think napunskalinga vidhi correct
Yes, yes. Yes, Mahodaya.
vidhi viddhatu प्रथमपु उत्तमपु मध्यमपुरुषः लोट्लकार ओके लोट्लकार मध्यमपुरुषः एकवचन प्रणिपातेन that is pranipata इति सुबन्ता तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचनं परिप्रश्नेन परिप्रश्न इति सुबन्तपद Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. Seva, of course, I am not able to tell the Pranipataha, I think Pullinga, Pariprashnaha is also Pullinga, I think.
Yes.
Sevaya, Sevaya, Seva is Strilinga, Sevaya Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. Upadekshanti, Upasarga, Upadekshanti. That is Lot Lakara, I think Bhavishyat, Lot Lakara Bhavishyant. Last Upadekshanti, that is in future, no?
Lit Lakara, Mahodaya.
Last Lakara? Okay, last Lakara. Okay.
Lit.
Lut Lakara. Bhavishyat Kala. Okay? Bhavishyat only, it is Bhavishyat only, no? Kala, normally I will be able to read. In Kala, it will be easy, it is easier for me. So, but in Lut Lakara. Upasarga. There is Dhatu, what is it? Dhatu?
This Dhatu.
This Dhatu, Lut Lakara.
Prathama Purusha
Bahuvachana. Te. Te is Tatsata, Pullinga, Prathama Bhakti Bahuvachana. Jnanam. Jnanam is Napunsakalinga, Jnanam is here it is Dutiya Bhakti Ekavachana. Jnaninaha, Jnanin in Prasthaya, Jnaninaha, that is Jnani is the Prathama Purusha Ekavachana, Jnaninaha is Prathama Purusha Bahuvachana. Tattvadarshinaha, Tattvadarshi. That is Prathama Purusha Bahuvachana. Correct? Okay. Now Padartha, Kritipadartha. Okay. Tat Jnanam Pranipatena Namaskareena Pariprasnena Nanavidaya Pruchaya Sevaya cha Susrushaya cha Vidhi Janihi Tattvadarshinaha Yadhad Drashtaraha Tattvadarshinaha Yadhad Drashtaraha Jnaninaha Atmajnanaha Te Tubhyam Jnanam Atmajnanam Upadekshanti or Vadishyanti, both are the same. Okay. Vadishyanti. Anvaya. Tattu. Tat means Tat Jnanam Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya cha Vidhi. Tattvadarshana Jnanaha Te Jnanam Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya cha Jnanam Upadekshanti. I would added that this Tattvadarshana, how that I have added once more here. Upadekshanti. Kim Upadekshanti. Jnanam Upadekshanti. Ke Jnanam Upadekshanti. Jnaninaha Jnanam Upadekshanti. Kidrishaha Jnaninaha Jnanam Upadekshanti. Tattvadarshanaha Jnaninaha Jnanam Upadekshanti. Tattvadarshanaha Jnaninaha Kasmai Jnanam Upadekshanti. Tattvadarshanaha Jnaninaha Te Jnanam Upadekshanti. Vidhi. Kana Vidhi. Pranipatena Vidhi. Pranipatena Punasta Kana Vidhi. Pranipatena Pariprasnena Vidhi. Pranipatena Pariprasnena Punasta Kaya Vidhi. Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya cha Vidhi. Kim Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya Vidhi. Tat Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya cha Vidhi. Tatparyam. Bhavan Namaskarena Kim Satyam. Bhavan Namaskarena Kim Satyam. Kim Asatyam. Tyadina Nanavadhena Prasnena Susrushaya cha Tat Jnanam Prapnotu. Tattvam Jnanantah Purushaha Bhavate Atmajnanam Upadishanti. Ramanujiya Matam. Jnanam Atmavishekam Jnanam. Vyakaranam Sandhi. Tadvidhi. Tat plus Vidhi. Jastu Sandhi. Because Ta has changed to Da. Jnaninaha Tattvadarshanaha. Jnaninaha Tattvadarshanaha. Jnanina Tattvadarshanaha. the visarga changing to sa, that is visarga from the sakara. Samasaha, tattvadarshinaha, tattvam pasyanti, tat तात्क्षरिके तात्शीलिके तात्शीलिके that is तात्शीलिके कर्तरि निनिः उपपद समासस्य तद्धितान्तः ज्ञानिनः ज्ञान इनि प्रत्यय मतिबद्धे ज्ञानं येषां येषु वा ति ज्ञानिनः.
ओके, अत्र क्रियापदं किम्?
उपदेक्षन्ति. उपदेक्षन्ति इति क्रियापदम्. उपदेक्षन्ति. So that is ज्ञानिनः के उपदेक्षन्ति means ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः उपदेक्षन्ति. ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः किम् उपदेक्षन्ति means ते उपदेक्षन्ति. ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः ते किम् उपदेक्षन्ति? ज्ञानम् उपदेक्षन्ति. ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः कथं ज्ञानम् उपदेक्षन्ति? प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया ज्ञानम् उपदेक्षन्ति. तद्विधि तत्प्रकारं जानीहि, तत्विधं जानीहि. कथं ज्ञानम् उपदेशन्ति तत्विधानं जानीहि.
उत्तमं. सो उपदेक्ष्यन्ति क्रियापदम्, अत्र कर्तृपदं ज्ञानिनः, तत्त्वदर्शिनः
विशेषणं तु ज्ञानिनः. विशेषणं तु ज्ञानिनः.
तत्त्वदर्शिनः ते द्वौ अपि ज्ञानिनः इति पदस्य विशेषणानि. अनन्तरं ज्ञानम् इति कर्मपदम्.
ज्ञानम् इति कर्मपदम्.
द्वितीयं क्रियापदं विद्धि. अत्र त्वं विद्धि इति त्वं अनन्तरं प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया. त्रयः अपि करणकारकानि.
करणकारकानि टूल्स्. ओके, टूल्स्.
तत् पुनः कर्म. तत् पुनः कर्मपदम्.
ओके.
So tat will be connected to jnanam. Tat jnanam. No. Actually, tat is not connected to jnanam. Tat vidhanam. Tat vidhanam viddhi.
Tat vidhanam viddhi.
Vidhanam api atyahritam svikaroti chet uttamam bhavati.
Uttamam bhavati.
Astu. Uttamam.
Avagahanaaya सुलभम् अस्ति. तत् विधानं विद्धि.
So here to discuss about this shloka, so what is the tatparyam given? Bhavan namaskarena kim satyam kim asatyam yadina nanavidhena prashnena shushrushaya cha tat jnanam prapnotu tattvam janantah purushaha bhavate atma jnanam upadishanti. So you have to keep asking. Now Arjuna asks, how am I supposed to know this jnanam? You are telling that Shraddhavantaha will acquire this kind of jnanam. So how am I going to acquire this kind of jnanam? From whom should I acquire this kind of jnanam? From Tattvadarshinah Jnaninaha, from people who have already acquired this kind of jnanam. The Tattva Jnanam who have already acquired, from such kind of people, you have to obtain this jnanam, and they will tell you, upadekshanti, they will preach, they will tell you that about how to acquire that jnanam. And how are you going to get that? By asking them. Pranipatena is by offering salutations. Pariprashnena is to ask repeatedly, keep asking questions until you get the answer that you want, and until you understand. Sometimes it will take several times for the guru to explain before the student can actually understand the meaning. So pariprashnena and then sevaya. So you have to do guru sushrusha, and then you have to keep offering your respects to the guru, and then pariprashnena, by asking. You have to ask, only then they will know. Because by asking questions, why asking is important is, if we do not ask questions, the gurus will not know at what level we are, where we are stuck, which part of the knowledge we are unable to understand. Because it is there are so many levels of understanding. Unless we ask the questions, the guru will not be able to understand until where we have clarity and where we are missing the clarity or having difficulty understanding. So by asking questions, guru will know that. So accordingly, he will understand where we are and he will come down to that level and again take us up. By explaining, he will help us move up, acquiring the knowledge. So these are the three things we have to do to obtain jnanam. There is no other way other than asking a guru, other than asking a guru. So here a guru can be a real person, or a guru can be a text also, philosophical text like Bhagavad Gita. We can consider Bhagavad Gita also as our guru, because through this we are learning so much. And of course, the Vyakhyanams will be there. Directly reading the shlokam, we may not be able to understand. For that, we are taking again help of certain granthas which are explaining. But then in the later on shloka, that also will come. So are you going to simply follow what a guru says, or are you going to analyze up until where, because there are so many people out there, so many gurus out there who are preaching. We don't know who is conveying the right message, who is not conveying the right message. So for that, we also need to have a certain level of analytical capability to understand, which guru is guiding us correctly. So that will come later on in the next shloka or something. But as of now, the only source of us attaining jnanam is by asking repeatedly questions, asking guru questions, and the guru also will explain it to us until we understand. And that is also the responsibility of a jnaninaha. Of a jnaninaha, what is the responsibility? To impart whatever jnanam he has acquired, to impart it to his disciples, to impart it to the people who are looking for answers. So once a person acquires some kind of knowledge, he cannot simply say, I have acquired knowledge, so I am moving forward. This is all I need. No, it is the responsibility of that particular person who has acquired knowledge to share it to the people who are looking for such kind of knowledge. That is also given in the Shastras, in the Vedas. It is given in the Vedas. So it is the responsibility of a Jnaninaha to share the knowledge to people who are also again ready for it. Only for people who are ready for it. For people who are not ready to receive that kind of knowledge, such kind of knowledge should not be imparted. That also we have studied in earlier shlokas. When a person is not ready to understand what I am saying, you do not talk to them about me. That is what Krishna says about my teachings or anything. So that also we have to keep in mind. And another example also we discussed a while ago about Dronacharya and Ekalavya, right? So Ekalavya has practiced and acquired this skill, but Dronacharya went and asked him to give his thumb as a Guru Dakshina. So at the surface level, we might think that, he did not like Ekalavya for certain reasons, because Arjuna is his Priya Shishya. So maybe he did not want anybody else to acquire knowledge more than Arjuna, or Arjuna himself asked Dronacharya about, you promised me that I will be your best student. How come there is somebody else? All these are depicted in the movies. So many of us try to, follow that, or just based on that, we become prejudiced against Dronacharya. But the fact is that the reason why Dronacharya asks as Guru Dakshina for his thumb is because though Ekalavya is a very dedicated student, he is very good at acquiring knowledge by himself, right? He practiced himself and acquired that skill, but he is not fit to behold such kind of skill. Why? Because he who has a certain kind of skill which is useful or which can be used for the good and for the bad. He should also have the knowledge to use it in the right way for the benefit of everybody. If that person is not able to use that knowledge or skill for the betterment of other people, then he is not fit to have that skill. So, that is, we can see that in many places, even politicians, if they are given power for somebody, if somebody is given a power to rule the country or whatever, a state or whatever, and if he is not capable, he can destroy the country or the state or whatever, whichever place he is ruling. Without proper knowledge, if one acquires a skill or power, they will actually destroy it. So even the weapons, in those days, the rishis would not give the weapons to any shishya. The mantropadesham is also not done randomly. They choose. So why are they choosing? It is because that person, that disciple should also have the knowledge of when to use this kind of power or skill or weapon for the betterment of mankind. He cannot simply go displaying his skill just because he has it, or he cannot go and use it against people that he doesn't like. That is not dharma. Just because you do not like somebody, you cannot use your power to destroy them. But that is what some people do with power, like especially the politicians, right? The corrupted politicians, not all, but the corrupted politicians, the corrupted police people, and all these employees, government employees, what do? Sometimes they use it against people who are whom they don't like for whatever personal reasons, which is not correct. So are they capable of having that kind of position? No. Why? Because they are misusing. So similarly here also, this kind of knowledge by the jnaninaha will be passed on to the people who are looking for it, yearning for it, but they also should be fit to acquire such kind of knowledge. They should be able to understand it correctly. Otherwise, what happens when in the there are two margas, karma marga and jnana marga. If we do not understand the importance of karma marga and taking up karma marga first, many people might think, okay, now I can sit and meditate and follow the jnana marga because I understand what jnana marga is. So I don't need karma marga. So they will simply abandon their duties and go, but they are not ready for the jnana marga. We have already studied in some shlokas the qualities that a person should have to start or to enter the jnana marga. So without, when one is not ready for it, though they think they are in the jnana marga, they are not in jnana marga. So they do not achieve anything by being there, thinking that they are in the jnana marga. They can never attain moksha. And at the same time, they are not in the karma marga, which actually helps you to go to the jnana marga step by step. One step at a time, the karma marga helps us to go into the jnana marga. But if we think I am capable of handling the jnana marga, abandon everything, our current responsibilities, and simply start thinking that we are following the jnana marga, then we are the ones who are at loss. So we have to, or the jnaninaha should explain all this only to a person who is ready to understand that. So that is what here it is being said. And by asking a lot of questions. So here pranipatena and pariprashnena and sevaya, three things that a disciple should do. So pranipatena, for pranipatena also there is a small story given for pranipatena. We'll come to that in a minute. But before that, pariprashnena. So the Prashnopanishad. Prashnopanishad describes about this pariprashnena, like what kind of questions people have already asked. So in this context, 6 rishis are mentioned. So they are very close to acquiring the Brahma Jnanam, but they still had some questions. They are very close to the Brahma Marga, or to attain Brahma Jnanam, but they still had some questions. So they went to a particular Maharshi called Pippala Maharshi, and they offered their namaskarams to him. And then they asked, and they were ready to ask their questions. But what the Maharshi said was, okay, it is not simply enough you come to me and offer some things which can be used in the yajnas, like the samidhaha and all. You cannot simply directly do that. So you stay with me for 1 year with the shraddha and meditate. Okay, you practice meditation and you perform some kind of seva here in the ashram. So then after 1 year, we'll talk about it. So they stayed with him for a year with utmost shraddha. They have performed all the seva. They meditated as and when they can after performing their duties in the ashramam, after offering their seva. Whatever time is left, they practiced meditation during that time. And after 1 year, the Guru was satisfied with their shraddha. This is again, see, it is not that the Guru wants them to simply wait out of his own attitude or anything. It is to test also how much the student really wants to know it, right? See, many times you see this happening. Some people will come, they will ask a teacher to ask a doubt. But then there are 4 other people ahead of him, so he has to wait in the line. So after a while, after 5 minutes, if that is not going forward and this student will be distracted, he will go into something else. He will even forget that he had a doubt and he wanted to ask the teacher to clear that doubt. He will even forget that. He will be distracted and move on to something else. So how do you how much shraddha does he have in knowing the answer to that doubt, right? So this 1 year condition or offering the seva to the Guru, all these are again to see how strongly that disciple wants to get the answer to what he has. If that is really bothering you, if that question is really bothering you, really want to get to the bottom of that, then you will wait for as much time as it takes to get the answer. Why? Because without getting that answer, you are not able to understand that. So you're not able to move forward and you want to move forward. The seriousness of that, how much you want to move forward, a guru can see in how patiently you are able to wait for it. So we can take it like that. So here these 6 rishis have come to this particular Pippala Maharshi and they asked him. And then he asked them to stay for 1 year. They stayed and the rishi was happy. So then he asked them, okay, now you can go ahead and ask your questions. So here one particular Rishi, Kabandhi Katyayanaha, he asked about the Srishti Prarambham. Okay, the answers to these are in Prashnopanishad. Here only this briefly this is explained. So that we know the significance of how to practice to attain this Tattva Jnanam. And there is another Rishi, Bhargava Vaidarbhi. He asked about how the Sharira, how this Sharira exists, how the Indriyas are embedded into this Sharira. Because you cannot see the Indriyas, right, properly. We can see, of course, some we can see, but then it is not just the Indriya. It is that, for example, this Granendriyam, we know that we have nose, but there is the Indriya within the nose is up, like towards the base of the nose, towards the base of the nose. That you cannot really see with your eyes, but not all of the nose has that capability of smelling. Only that part has, like that. So how is it embedded within that body? That question this particular Bhargava Vaidarbhi Rishi had. And then Kausalya Shayanaha, he asked about Prana Tattvam. Okay, about the Prana Tattvam, how this prana comes into existence and all that. And that also cannot be easily explained to anyone. Like even if a very a disciple with utmost Shraddha also can have this question, but even then it may not be explained to anybody. But in this case, this particular, for these 6 rishis, all these questions were answered. And then another rishi, Sauryayini Gargyaha. So he asked about Jiva's sthiti, means the avasthas. So what are the avasthas? Jagrada avastha, Swapna avastha, Sushupti avastha, such things. So he asked about how these avasthas come into existence. Why are we falling asleep? Even when we fall asleep, there are again different levels. How does this happen? And once we wake up from the sleep, we are still able to remember certain things. And then during our sleep, when something happens, even to our body, like somebody can pinch us or pat us, we don't know, right? Until it is really hard. Unless it is really hard, they pinch or pat, we won't know. So such kind of sthithis. So how is it possible that we are not able to feel all that? All that questions were asked by Gargya and they were answered. And then Shaibyascha asked about Pranava Rahasyam, how this Omkaram came into existence and all that. And Sukesha Bharadwajaha, he asked about Shodasha Kala. Purushaha means the Shodasha Kalas we talk about, right? So about those he asked. So all these lead to Atma Tattvam. So here all of them asked a different question, but they were all answered together. Like all the rishis received answers to all of them. So what did the Maharshi say about the Tattva Jnanam is, he explained everything, all the answers to all the questions asked, and at the end he says, so this is what I know, and this is what is there about Tattvam. This is all that is there to know about Tattvam. Okay, so this is Tattva Jnanam. So they consider him as their what do you say, as their father. They considered this Pippala Maharshi as their father. Why? Because they considered whatever jnanam he has imparted to them, it is like a new birth, right? Sometimes we say that a person has taken second birth. When do we say that? When they have changed completely. So say for example, Valmiki Maharshi. Initially he was like a hunter, but once he changed into a rishi, it is like a rebirth to him because of the jnanam that he attained. It completely changed him. So he considered it as a new birth. Similarly, these rishis also considered after getting answers to these questions, they considered themselves having another birth. So they considered this Pippala Maharshi as their father because he has imparted them the Jnana Shariram, the Vidya Shariram. So this is what will be given in detail in the Prashnopanishad. Answers to each of these in a very detailed way. And it is also given in the Upanishads that it is a vidhi of the Guru to impart his knowledge. So once a student who is really eligible to receive that kind of knowledge comes to a Guru, approaches a Guru and asks him, and if he passes all the tests the Guru has to clear his doubts, to see if the student is really qualified to attain that kind of knowledge, then that Guru has to impart his knowledge. He cannot simply, ignore. So that is also there in the Shastras and in our Vedas, that even the Guru has to impart his knowledge to a disciple who has that Shraddha to learn about the Tattva Jnanam. And then we have this Pranipatam. This is about Pariprashna. And then we have Pranipatena. Pranipatena means by offering the Namaskarams. So why Pranipatena? That word in particular is used. Again, you will see many times the students approaching the Gurus and they will be offering Namaskarams. With how much of honesty is there in that Namaskaram? Are they simply doing it as, oh, I have to bow in front of him, otherwise he will get upset? Or everybody else is offering, if I don't offer, I don't look good. So these are all the reasons why students offer their salutations to the Gurus, right? I'm not saying everybody will be like that, but there are cases where students offer salutations to their teachers or Gurus only for these factors, but they do not have that complete surrenderness. That complete surrenderness, not every disciple can show. So this pranipatam indicates that complete surrenderness. So we have seen in the in our Puranas or in other Shastras, there are many stories where kings will approach these rishis for some questions, right? They have a lot of questions and they approach these sages for solutions. Sometimes the kings show some kind of attitude towards the rishis or the Swamijis. Some kings are very submissive. We have seen all kinds of kings. So the rishis will offer solution to kings only when they feel that, or only when they understand that that king is offering salutations to that guru with complete surrenderness. No ego, no nothing should be there. I am a king, you are a mere sage. That kind of feeling should not be there. They should, when they approach the rishi, they should have complete submissiveness. They should have complete faith in that rishi about with his knowledge. That kind of surrenderness only when they exhibit, only then the rishi also will answer to that question, whatever the king or whoever has. So here we have a small incident again, where there is a king who goes to he has performed a lot of yagas and annadanams, and then, so obviously he was assuming himself like I have performed so many yagas, I have performed so many annadanams. So he has a kind of he has a kind of tejas because of all the things he does. And this king is a very humble king. He's not like arrogant or anything. He's a very good person. He has this tejas. So he obviously he understood that he is a kind of person who has the utmost what do you say, that giving nature. Because of his good heart, he has this tejas. But then he some once he overhears a couple of swans talking to each other, and then one swan will be telling to the other, while you are flying in the sky, be careful. There is this person who has so much of tejas. You might be burnt in that tejas if you pass that, if you cross that path. So this king will hear the conversation and he will think, who is that other person who has so much of tejas that a bird can be burnt in that tejas. Now I also have tejas, but my tejas is not burning anything. Who is this other person? Out of curiosity, he will send his people to search for such person, for such person. But then the people will go, he will send his Sarathi only. The Sarathi will go all over the kingdom. He will look and he will come back and he will say, I couldn't find. There are many sages, but nobody has that kind of tejas. So we could not find a person like how you have described. So then he says, okay, not only in the kingdom, see, that kind of tejas will be possessed only by people who are doing some kind of tapas. So they will not be, you cannot see such people in the kingdom. You go and look in the forests also. So this Sarathi will go and search in the forests. There he will find a person who is sitting under a vehicle, some kind of vehicle. But he has some skin disease. He doesn't look very good. He doesn't look like clean or healthy or anything. But there is something about him that makes you feel that he has some kind of tejas, that he's a little different. So this Sarathi will come back and he will say, so no, actually the Sarathi will go and ask that person. So are you some kind of, great person who can emit that kind of tejas and all? So that person will very rudely talk to this Sarathi and send him away. So the Sarathi comes back and tells the king, I did find a person. He looks different. He has a lot of, he appears very unhealthy or unclean, but he has something about him. So I went and asked him, but he was very rude and he sent me back. But I think there is something that he has, what you are looking for. So then the king says, okay, then he will send some 600 cows and a chariot and so much of wealth and all that. So then, actually the king goes. The king himself will go with all this. And then again, that person will send him away, will send the king away and all the gifts that he brought. So the king will go back and he will start thinking, what am I doing wrong? I am a humble person. I went to this person with a very earnesty to know what did he do to get that kind of tejas and what am I lacking? I also want to be able to do such kind of things. So then he will think, if that other person is that kind of great person who has such tejas, why will he want wealth and chariot and all this? Why would he want that? I was a fool to offer him all that. He is such a jnani, and I am offering a jnani materialistic things. What kind of, that is the reason why he sent me away. So then again he will think, but then why is he sitting under a vehicle? If he's really, that kind of person. So he understands that though this person is a jnani, the reason why he's sitting under some kind of vehicle, apparently as per the Shastras, what it implies is he is looking to follow the path of Karma Yoga to set an example to people like this king, to show them the path, to show them how to attain tattva jnanam even while leading grihastha ashramam. So that the king will then understand. And then next time when he goes to him, he will offer his daughter, because that jnani, though he already has attained the tattva jnanam, he wants to lead the life of a grihastha. Why? Because it will set an example to other grihasthas how to follow the karma marga. Only when a jnani comes down and again lives like Rama, right? See, Rama is an avatar of Vishnu. And who is Vishnu? The Paramatma himself. Why does Paramatma have to come down again and lead the life of a man? He is not wanting to attain moksha. He does not need to attain moksha. He is the Paramatma. But why did he come back again and lead the life of a common, like a normal human? Why? Because he is setting an example to the mankind. This is how you have to face if any difficulty comes your way. This is how you have to be a good son. This is how you have to be a good husband. This is how you have to be a good brother, and all this. So to set an example to mankind, he came. Similarly, this particular Rishi also wants to lead a Grihastha ashramam, so that other people who are in the same ashramam will also know how to attain Tattva Jnanam while they are leading their life, because they still have responsibilities, they still have the karmas that they have accrued from the previous lives and from this life. So unless they experience all the papam and punyam that they have acquired through these karmas, they cannot be freed. But they simply cannot be stuck in the same cycle. They have to come out of it. So to come out of it, they have to acquire the Tattva Jnanam while leading this life. So how to do that? Many of us have the same question. How to lead, how to attain the Tattva Jnanam while we are still having so many responsibilities. So since that is the main concern for many people, they do not know. There are some people who have already attained the Tattva Jnanam, but they are coming back to lead the life of a Grihastha, so that they can set an example to other people who are in the same Grihastha ashramam, to show them how to attain the Tattva Jnana, how to balance our life, how to be detached while doing our responsibilities, like that Madalasa lady's story, how we read. Similarly, okay. So understanding that, he then again goes back and offers his daughter in marriage. So then the person, he will now understand that the king has understood the purpose of his, why he is there in that particular condition. So then he will give his upadesham to the king. Okay. So that upadesham is called Samvarga Vidya. Samvarga Vidya. That kind of upadesham he gives to the king. So the first time when he sent the Sarathi, the Sarathi to find and offer his the Sarathi goes, finds this person, and he says, my king is looking for you. Why don't you come and meet my king? That is patam. Means the king is showing his, what do you say, gratitude, or he is kind of requesting that person to offer, impart his knowledge to him. But he did not ask in the correct way. He sent his Sarathi to ask. So that action is called patam, just patam. And then the second time, what he did was, it is like an example we are setting. Okay, so patam also is to fall in front of a guru, like offering your namaskarams to a guru. But there is a difference in each level. So that is the patam. And then he himself goes with so much of wealth and a chariot and some 600 cows. But still, he did not understand the intent of that person. He was trying to offer only these materialistic things. So that is nipata. Finally, when he understands this jnani properly, then he goes to offer. So he is looking to enter the grihastha ashrama so that he can set an example to others. So what does he need to enter into the grihastha ashrama? He needs a wife. So now the king went with his daughter to offer his daughter in marriage to him. So now the king has understood completely the intent of that jnani. So the jnani is happy. So this kind of offering from the king's side is called pranipata. So complete surrenderness. Otherwise, why would a king want to give to some unhealthy, unclean person who is sitting under a vehicle? Why would he want to offer his daughter? Because he understood that he is a jnani and that he wants to enter this grihastha ashrama to set an example to all the other people, and he knows the importance of that. So that is why he went. So we can understand from that the king completely understood the intent of the jnani, that he is a jnani and the intent of the jnani. So that is pranipatena, that complete surrenderness. So many times we have so many questions and we keep asking, but that complete surrenderness will not be there. Unless that complete surrenderness is there, we will not get answers. Many times we keep asking God, why did you do this? Why did, this happen in this way and that way and all this? In all that, unless there is that complete surrenderness, God will not, the Paramatma will not come and help us understand the situation. Like if you see Ramadas, Bhakta Ramadas, right? So we know his story. He has gone through. He has not done anything really incorrect out for his own benefit. He did not do anything, but still he had to go through lot of hardships, and he asks at every point, "What have I done? What have I done?" But only after, of course, though there is that complete surrenderness even from the beginning, he had that complete surrenderness. But then still time was taken. Why? Because he had some sanchita karmas that he had to get rid of. Because of that, it took time. So there can be many factors why a certain thing will be delayed even after we offer ourselves in complete surrenderness. But then to get a solution, we have to exhibit that complete surrenderness. And then here the Guru Seva. The last thing is the Guru Seva. Of all the Satkaryams. So in the previous shlokas, it has been told many times, Satkaryam, Satkaryam, Satkaryam. We have to do all the Satkarya. And the Satkaryam is also defined without any kind of attachment, without any kind of phalapeksha, without any kind of greed or emotions. That is called Satkaryam. So Guru Seva, a proper Guru Seva is the best of all the Satkaryams. Because there we are, why will somebody do Guru Seva? To attain Tattvajnanam, right? To attain Tattvajnanam. And without any other kind of benefit. There is no other benefit that the student is seeking if he approaches a guru, and if he is performing this seva and all. There should not be any other agenda. if one approaches a guru, there should not be any other agenda other than seeking knowledge for the Tattva Jnanam. Then it is considered as the Utkrishta of all the Satkaryams. If somebody goes to a guru to ask some materialistic things, then that is not considered as a Satkarya. If we approach a guru only to gain knowledge of the Paramatma, of the Tattva Jnanam, then then we have to perform Sushrusha. So, and we have to ask him, and we have to offer our salutations. All these three should be done. Such kind of Guru Seva is considered as the best of all the Satkaryams. Okay, all this is given in Chandogyopanishad. Okay, this the story which I have just told about the king approaching this particular person, that person with so much of tejas and all. Similarly, even Indra also at one point he will go and ask many questions to Brahma. Even there also he was asked to wait for so many years, like 32 years, and then he gets to ask only one question. Again, he waits for another 32 years, he can ask only one question. So this waiting time is to test the Shraddha of the student, we can think. Okay, so all these are given in the Chandogyopanishad. Similarly, even Narada Maharshi also goes to Sanat Kumaraha, his older brother, and he recites a Mahamantram. There is a mantram that he recites to impress his brother, means offering salutations, and he will request him to give the Upadesham. So eventually he will get, he knows, Narada Maharshi knows everything, but he is only able to recite everything, but he does not know the meaning of what he is reciting. For that kind of knowledge, he asks his brother, and eventually he gets. So basically, these are the people who are Jnaninaha, like the Sanat Kumaraha, Brahma, and then in this case, this particular person who the king finds in the forest. All these are Jnaninaha. Such kind of people only one has to approach. Okay. So that is about this shloka. So here Tatvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshyanti Te. Those people, those Jnaninaha will give you Upadesham. Upadekshyanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha. So those are the Tattvadarshinaha. They have already seen that Paramatma Tattvam. They are able to visualize that, the Paramatma Tattvam. They know what it is completely. Okay, such people we have to approach. And even the Shastras say that such kind of Tattvadarshinaha should impart their knowledge to a proper disciple who, when asks again and again, Pariprashnena, and when they offer their seva, and when they offer their salutations with complete surrenderness. Okay, so that is with that shloka. Moving on to the next shloka. Here we have the samasa tattvadarshinaha tattvam pashyanti, darshinaha. So they have already seen that Paramatma tattvam. Seen in the sense they have a complete understanding, perception of what the tattvaдаrshinam is. And then jnaninaha, jnana plus ini, matuvarte, jnanam esham eshuva asti, jnaninaha. Okay, that is a tadhitanta. So the next shloka. रविशंकर महोदय पठितुम् इच्छति वा?
आं महोदय, श्रूयते वा?
आं श्रूयते।
विज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि। पदार्थः पाण्डव अन्वयं पठामि वा?
पदविभागं पदपरिचयम्।
यद् सर्वनामशब्द द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचनं कर्मणि टु ज्ञात्वा, कर्म टु ज्ञात्वा ज्ञात्वा स्वान्तप्रत्यय अव्ययम् न इति धातु न अव्ययम् पुनः अव्ययम् मोहं मोह द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचन पुंलिङ्गम् कर्मणि टु ज्ञात्वा अगेन् एवम् अव्ययम् यास्यसि या धातु लृट् लकार कर्तरि मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन I am somehow not able to recall that मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन पांडव संबोधना प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन येन यद् सर्वनाम शब्द हेतु तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचन भूतानि भूत कर्मणि टु द्रक्ष्यसि द्वितीया विभक्ति बहुवचन अशेषेण अशेष शब्द तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचन द्रक्ष्यसि दृश्य धातु प्रथम पुरुष मध्यम पुरुष लृट् लकार कर्तरि आत्मनि आत्मन् आत्मन् पुंलिंग शब्दः अधिकरणे विषयाधिकरण टु आत्मन् शब्दः विषयाधिकरण सप्तमी विभक्ति एकवचन सप्तमी एकवचन अथो अव्ययम् मयि अस्मत् शब्दः अधिकरणे विषयाधिकरण सप्तमी विभक्ति एकवचन पदार्थः पांडव पांडुपुत्र यत् ज्ञात्वा यत् विज्ञाय पुनः भूयः मोहं व्यामोहम् एवम् इत्थं न यास्यसि न गमिष्यसि येन येन ज्ञानेन आत्मनि स्वस्मिन् भूतानि प्राणिनः अशेषेण समग्रं द्रक्ष्यसि पश्यसि अथो अनन्तरं मयि भगवति अन्वय आकांक्षा पद्धति न यास्यसि कम न यास्यसि पुनः मोहं न यास्यसि किं कृत्वा पुनः मोहं न यास्यसि ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहं न यास्यसि ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहं कथं न यास्यसि यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहम् एवं न यास्यसि द्वितीय क्रियापदमस्ति द्रक्ष्यसि कानि द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि कुत्र द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि आत्मनि द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि आत्मनि कथं द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि आत्मनि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि आत्मनि अथो कुत्र अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि भूतानि आत्मनि अथो मयि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि येन भूतानि आत्मनि अथो कुत्र अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि येन भूतानि आत्मनि अथो मयि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहम् एवं न यास्यसि येन भूतानि आत्मनि अथो मयि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि तादृशं किम् यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहम् एवं न यास्यसि येन भूतानि आत्मनि अथो मयि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि तादृशं ज्ञानम् तच्च ज्ञानं तत्त्वदर्शिनः ये उपदेक्ष्यन्ति अस्मिन् श्लोके संबोधनपदं किं पाण्डव तात्पर्यम् अर्जुन येन ज्ञानेन भवान् पुनः एतादृशं मोहजालं न आप्नोति येन आत्मज्ञानेन समवायबुद्ध्या स्वस्मिन् मयि च सर्वान् जीवान् द्रष्टुं शक्नोति तादृशं ज्ञानं तत्त्वदर्शिनः ते उपदेक्ष्यन्ति
So अनन्तरं व्याकरणमपि पठतु महोदय.
आम् आम् महोदय. व्याकरणं सन्धिः यज्ञात्वा यत् ज्ञात्वा श्रुत्वसन्धि पुनर्मोहं पुनः मोहं विसर्गस्य रेफः भूतान्यशेषेण भूतानि अशेषेण यण् सन्धि द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि द्रक्ष्यसि आत्मनि यण् सन्धि आत्मनि अथो यण् सन्धि समासः अशेषेण न शेषः तेन नै तत्पुरुष.
ओके अस्तु. सो अत्र क्रियापदं द्रक्ष्यसि यास्यसि.
आम् आम् महोदय.
सो द्रक्ष्यसि इति स्वीकरोति चेत् कर्तृपदं किम्?
भूतानि द्रक्ष्यसि.
भूतानि भूतानि कर्मपदं भवति.
कर्मपदं भवति. आम्.
सो कर्तृपदं नास्ति, त्वम् इति अध्याहृतं स्वीकरणीयम्. अनन्तरं भूतानि, त्वं भूतानि द्रक्ष्यसि. तेन
भूतानि आत्मनि द्रक्ष्यसि. कुत्र द्रक्ष्यसि? आत्मनि द्रक्ष्यसि. कथं द्रक्ष्यसि इति अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि. अभिन्नः अविच्छिन्नः इति.
अशेषेण इति क्रियाविशेषणं.
क्रियाविशेषणमस्ति.
क्रियाविशेषणम्. अस्तु. अनन्तरं यास्यसि.
यास्यसि कं न यास्यसि, पुनः मोहं न यास्यसि. किं कृत्वा ज्ञात्वा.
किं ज्ञात्वा यत्.
किं ज्ञात्वा यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहम् एवं न यास्यसि. यत् इत्युक्ते मां ज्ञात्वा.
सो येन
भगवन्तं ज्ञात्वा
येन ज्ञानेन एतादृशं मोहजालं न आप्नोति. येन आत्मज्ञानेन तदेव खलु समवायबुद्ध्या स्वस्मिन् मयि च सर्वान् जीवान् द्रष्टुं शक्नोति. तादृशं ज्ञानं तत्त्वदर्शिनः ते उपदेक्ष्यन्ति. सो यत् ज्ञात्वा एवं मोहं यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः न यास्यसि. ओके. येन भूतानि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि.
येन अशेषेण भूतानि आत्मनि अथो मयि द्रक्ष्यसि.
अस्तु. सो तत् ज्ञानं तत्त्वदर्शिनः ते उपदेक्ष्यन्ति. यत् ज्ञात्वा पुनः मोहमेव न यास्यसि. येन आत्मनि भूतानि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि. So basically यत् ज्ञात्वा ante knowing this, knowing
what, knowing which,
knowing what, by knowing which punah moham eva na yasyasi. So
again you will not fall into the trap of desires and all that.
Yes. And yena atmani bhutani asheshena drakshyasi. So you will look at all the bhutas in the world, and you will look me in everything.
In every bhuta.
That is in all the bhutani you will see Paramatma only.
Paramatma eva. Avicchinnam.
Yes. So that kind of perception you should have. That kind of
that will be that upadesham will be given by the Jnaninaha.
Yes, correct. So here also again there is a little difference between Vyamoham and Preeti. That is what is being told here in this shloka basically. So here also there is a small story explained to understand what this shloka is trying to tell. So many of us have difficulty looking at every living thing in this Prakriti and understanding that there is Paramatma in everything. We have difficulty. We think Paramatma is there only in the temple, only in our puja mandir, only somewhere. That is how we look at it. It is difficult to even imagine that Paramatma is there within us.
Yes.
We think maybe we are not good enough for Paramatma to be within us. So similarly, many times we cannot perceive Paramatma in the other living beings.
Mm.
So how to go about it? That is the reason why we immediately develop emotions towards people who we think they are
Nearer to us. Nearer to us.
So for that, there is this story of a person who is unable to practice this kind of detachment. So many people, either they love blindly, or the minute they know that that other person, maybe he is not loving
Worthy
us
of this
back,
love.
we will at the same time break the relationship completely. We
Yes.
will start not liking them anymore.
Yes, yes.
So for that, there is a small story again here. So there is this person who has a family. He has a mother, he has a wife, he has children and everybody.
Okay.
So his guru, but he's also yearning for the Tattva Jnanam. So he approaches many gurus and he keeps asking, I want to, why don't you please explain to me how to attain Tattva Jnanam? So many gurus will, one particular guru he will approach, and after so many years, he will finally ask, after offering that seva and everything, the guru will ask, okay, what is it that you want to know? Okay, I want to practice, I want to know Tattva Jnanam. So then the guru says, okay, you have to practice detachment. So you don't be attached to your family. So then he says, what are you saying after all these years? Is this the kind of answer that you are giving me? Just because you are in the forest and doing some tapas, you want me to abandon my family? And so he understands that detachment as abandoning. So then the guru, for him to make him understand, he says, okay, now let us do something. And he will give him something to eat, which will make him like paralyzed. So it will appear that he is dead, but he is not dead. He is very much alive. So the guru will talk to the family and he will ask each member, okay, your this person is dead.
Dead.
So the family will ask this guru, he came to you, he served you for so many years, and can you not do anything to bring him alive? Because we love him very much, we want him to be with us. So can you please do something to bring him back alive? So the guru says, okay, this balance of life and death I cannot do. So in his place, if someone else goes in his place, then I will bring him back alive.
Yes, yes.
So he will ask the mother, okay, he is your beloved son. So can you give your life in exchange to your son's life? So the mother will say, no,
I won't.
I have other children to take care of. He is not the only son. I have more responsibilities. I cannot simply give my life to for this person, for this son of mine. So the Guruji asks the wife. So the wife also will say, see, we have two kids. They are very young already, and they definitely in these young years, they need their mother. So I cannot give up my duty as a mother. So I can also not give my life for my husband. So like this, everybody will say, so listening to all this, see, he's really not dead. He's only paralyzed because of the something that the guru has given him. So then he will, the guru will again give him something. So he will come back alive and he will say, I have been a fool to think that my family loves me so much. They do not love me. So now I will do what you are asking me to do. I will practice detachment. I will come along with you to the forest and I will stay there only with you. So the guru says, no, you have misunderstood your family members. It is not that they do not love you, but the reason why they did not give up their life is because they understand the importance of their duty, of their responsibilities. That is the reason why they were not able to give up their life for you. So similarly, you also, without blindly having this kind of attachment in a blind way, you have to pay attention only to your responsibilities. Just because they said that you are ready to leave your responsibilities and come off into the forest. So that is not correct. So in that way, after the Guruji explains, he will understand the difference between having preeti and having vyamoham.
Vyamoham.
Vyamoham is where you are blinded.
Yes.
You are blinded. But that
Yes.
is not the correct kind of love that one should have towards their family or friends or towards anything, towards
Yes.
any human or even animals or any kind of thing. We should not have Vyamoham, because if we have Vyamoham, we will be blinded and we will not think correctly and we will not do right by anything. See, if
Yes.
the wife is blinded by Vyamoham, she would have offered herself in exchange to her husband's life.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then what will become of the very young children who still need their mother at that point of time?
Yes.
Maybe the father cannot completely replace the duties of a mother. He
Yes.
might be incapable of taking care of the very young babies at that point of
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So that is the difference between Vyamoham and Preeti. So you can have Preeti. Many times we misunderstand Preeti and Vyamoham. We either have too much of Vyamoham or hatred. We don't
Yes.
know how to love a person without any kind of attachment.
Yes.
So that is only possible if we look in everything that Paramatma is there. Only
Yes.
when we have that kind of perception, we will have Preeti but not Vyamoha. Which is how it should be.
Yes.
We
Yes.
should look at everybody as Paramatma only.
With
And
detachment.
forget about this personal attachment, like that blood
Yes.
relation or such
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Should not have. Everybody is Paramatma.
Yes.
So then our son is also Paramatma, the street dog is also Paramatma.
Paramatma.
So
True.
then the way we treat everybody will be the same. We won't show that kind of Vyamoham towards anything, because that Vyamoham will destroy us as well as the persons involved with us. So
Yes.
that is the difference that the Jnaninaha
Teach
will
us.
try to make
Teach.
the disciples understand.
Understand.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay. So that is the gist of this shloka, and here
Shloka.
there is only one samasa padam, asheshena
Asheshena
na
na
sheshaha.
sheshaha tena. Naitatpurusha.
धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः महोदय. धन्यवादः.
So anantaram Surya Bhagini.
महोदय अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमा सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि अपि अव्ययं चेत् असि चेत् కూడా అవ్యయమే కదా
अव्ययम्
असि अस्धातुः सप्तमे
असि मध्यमपुरुष एकवचन, like patasi.
मध्यमपुरुष
एकवचन.
पापे
लट्लकार कर्तरि.
पापेभ्यः तृतीया विभक्ति बहुवचनं
पापेभ्यः विभक्ति बहुवचनं.
Of course, like just by looking at papebhyaha, it can be tritiya or chaturthi or panchami.
Panchami, yes.
So meaning wise, if we see sarvebhyaha papebhyaha papakrittamaha asi. So here we have to take it as panchami as per the meaning.
Yes.
Ante here what the shloka is saying is, even if you have done papam, performed papams more than all the papams in the world. Sarvebhyaha papebhyaha papakrittamaha. Okay, so even if you have done papams more than what papams are there in the world, a million people are there, million papams they have performed. If you have performed more papams than all that million papams, even then you can get rid of those papams with this tattva jnanam. That is the meaning here. So papebhyaha will be panchami. And here a comparison is being made, no? That is why panchami.
Papakruttamaha taprachim. Rudhatu.
Kani pumlinga prathama vibhakti ekavachana.
Pumlinga prathama vibhakti ekavachana. Sarvam sarva shabda నపుంసకలింగం కదా ఇది సర్వం.
నపుంసకలింగం.
నపుంసకలింగం మకారాంత శబ్దం. జ్ఞాన ప్లవేనైవ జ్ఞానప్లవ జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ ఏవ అవ్యయం జ్ఞానప్లవేన తృతీయ విభక్తి జ్ఞానప్లవం కూడా నపుంసకలింగం.
జ్ఞానప్లవ తృతీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
महोदय पुल्लिङ्गं भवति ज्ञानप्लव.
पुंलिङ्गं.
జ్ఞానప్లవనః అని వస్తుంది అప్పుడు
జ్ఞానప్లవ.
జ్ఞానప్లవ
కరణే టు సంతరిష్యసి.
ఇట్ ఈస్ కరణకారకం టు సంతరిష్యసి.
వృజనం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి వృజ్ ఇది
So here it is vrijina and napumsakalinga dvitiya vibhakti ekavachanam.
సంతరిష్యసి ఇది లంగలకారం
లిట్ లకారం మధ్యమ పురుష ఏకవచనం.
పదార్థః అపి చేత్ యది పునః సర్వేభ్యః సకలేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకారిభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః పాపిష్టః అసి భవసి తదా సర్వం తదా సమస్తం వృజినం పాపం జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ జ్ఞానోడుపేన ఏవ సంతరిష్యసి అతిక్రమిష్యతి. అన్వయః అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా సర్వం వృజినం జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ సంతరిష్యసి.
జ్ఞానప్లవం అంటే జ్ఞాన ఉడుపేన. ఉడుప మీన్స్ లైక్ ద బోట్.
ప్లవనం అంటే కూడా నావన్నమాట.
నావ.
జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ సంతరిష్యసి.
మేడం ఇక్కడ అర్థంలో మటుకి ప్రభావం అంటే అగ్ని అని ఇచ్చారు. జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ జ్ఞానాగ్నిన ఏవ అని ఇచ్చారు. ప్రభావం అంటే ఇక్కడ అగ్ని అని ఇచ్చారు. ఉడుప అని ఇచ్చారు అర్థంలో. చూడండి, జ్ఞానప్లవేన ఏవ జ్ఞాన ఉడుపేన ఏవ. ఉడుప మీన్స్ తపన ఉడుప మండల. లలితా సహస్రాలు పెట్టే తపన ఉడుప మండల. ఉడుప మీన్స్ సూర్య. జ్ఞానాగ్ని కర్మాణం లైక్ దట్ అగ్ని. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐ ఫీల్.
Okay, but in the
different meanings will be there to a particular word, no? In this context, udupa means it is a boat only. Lava ani chepparu kada. Lava ani chepparu. Idi kudanu how do you santarishyasi? How do you cross? You cross by way of udupa only.
Correct. In the I listened to a pravachanam also. There also
ఉడుపు అంటే ఇక్కడ తెప్ప అని వస్తుందేమో. జ్ఞానప్లవం అంటే
జ్ఞానమనే తెప్ప దాని మూలంగా మేము క్రాస్ చేస్తాము అనేది ఇక్కడ తాత్పర్యం అనుకుంటాను.
ఆకాంక్ష అసి కీదృశః అసి పాపకృత్తమః అసి కేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి కతిభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా కిం కరిష్యసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా సంతరిష్యసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా కిం సంతరిష్యసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా వృజినం సంతరిష్యసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి తదా కియత్ వృజినం సంతరిష్యసి. అపి చేత్ సర్వేభ్యః పాపేభ్యః పాపకృత్తమః అసి तदा सर्वं वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि। अपि चेत् सर्वेभ्यः पापेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः असि तदा सर्वं वृजिनं तेन सन्तरिष्यसि। अपि चेत् सर्वेभ्यः पापेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः असि तदा सर्वं वृजिनं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव सन्तरिष्यसि। तात्पर्यं भवान् सर्वेषां पापिनाम् अपेक्षया अधिकं पापं कृतवान् चेदपि ज्ञानरूपया नौकया निस्सन्देहं तं पापरूपं समुद्रं तरिष्यति। व्याकरणं संधिः छेदसि छेद प्लस असि जस्तो संधि ज्ञानप्लवेनैव ज्ञानप्लवेन प्लस एव वृद्धि संधिः समासः ज्ञानप्लवेन ज्ञानम् एव प्लवः तेन कर्मधारयः तद्धितान्तः पापकृत्तमः पापकृत् प्लस तमप् अतिशयेन पापकृत् इत्यर्थः।
सो अत्र असि सन्तरिष्यसि इति क्रियापदानि असि। अत्र कर्तृपदं किम्?
सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः
त्वम् असि
पापकृत्तमः असि मध्यमपुरुष एकवचनम्, अतः त्वम् इति कर्तृपदं, पापकृत्तमः विधेयविशेषणं भवति। ओके, सो त्वं पापकृत्तमः असि। You are the one who have performed papams, right?
Most papams.
So most than what? Sarvebhyah papebhyah papakrittamah asi. So if you are somebody who has done more papams than all the papams that are there in the world, chedapi, even if you are such kind of papakrittamah, you can still cross. What can you cross? You can overcome these papams or get rid of all these papams. Sarvam papam or sarvam vrijinam jnanaplavena santarishyasi. Ee jnanam ane navat upayoginchukuni you can cross, you can get rid of all the papams. So here asi is one kriyapadam for which we can take tvam as adhyahritam. Then papakrittamaha will be videya visheshana to tvam. Tvam papakrittamaha asi. Kebhyaha sarvebhyaha papebhyaha. Okay, so that will be apadanam. Papebhyaha will be apadanam. Sarvebhyaha will be visheshana to papebhyaha. Anantaram dvitiyam kriyapadam santarishyasi. Atrapi madhyamapurusha ekavachana. So tvam adhyahritam. So tvam santarishyasi. Tvam kam santarishyasi sarvam vrijinam santarishyasi. Kena jnanaplavena eva. So jnanaplavena will be karanakarakam, vrijinam will be karmapadam, sarvam will be visheshana to vrijinam, and tvam will be adhyahritam kartrupadam. So even though you have done more papams than all the papams that are there, still you can cross or get rid of all those papams with jnanam. You can cross this hurdle with the boat called jnanam. So by obtaining tattva jnanam, you can get rid of all the papams that you have ever done. They will simply burn like that. The minute you attain that jnanam, they will simply burn. Like how a dry grass will burn in Agni. How much time will it take for a dry grass to burn in Agni? That much time, all your papams will be burnt the minute you acquire this tattva jnanam. Astu. So here we have jnana plavena is the samasa word. Jnanameva plavaha. Tena. So a boat which is of the jnanam, made out of jnanam, with that you can get rid of the papams. And papakrittamaha, papakrit and tamap. Tamap we know, superlative degree, atishayena. Astu. Anantaram.
ఇప్పుడు అసి అంటే పదును అని కూడా వస్తుందేమో కదా అర్థం.
Asi ante
పదును అని కూడా వస్తుంది అర్థం.
పదును పెట్టటమనా?
అంటే ఇప్పుడు కత్తికి
అదే అంటున్నా. కాదు, కాదు.
అసిధారావ్రతం అంటారు కదా కత్తి మీద సాము అంటే.
ఆ,
అలా అసి అంటే కత్తికున్న పదును అన్నట్టుగా కూడా వస్తుంది అర్థం.
ఆహా, ఇది కేవలం
अस्तिस्तः
అస్
सन्ति
ధాతువు.
अस्तिस्तः सन्ति असिस्तः स्त असि
దిస్ ఇస్
అదే
ఓన్లీ అస్ ధాతోః
अस् धातु
Hmm.
अस्तिस्तः सन्ति असि
अस् धातोः आम्
అంటే దీనికే రెండు అర్థాలు వస్తాయా అని అసి అంటే.
వస్తాయి వస్తాయి, కానీ ఇక్కడ మాత్రం క్రియాపదమేవ.
ఉమ్. ఉమ్.
ఓకే, సో అనంతరం లక్ష్మీనారాయణ మహోదయ పఠితుమిచ్చति
नमस्ते
वा?
नमस्ते महोदय, श्रूयते किल? यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर्भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा यथा
పదవిభాగ పదపరిచయం.
यथा अव्ययम् एधांसि एधशब्द नपुंसकलिंग द्वितीय विभक्ति बहुवचन समिद्ध समिद्धः प्रथम विभक्ति एकवचन पुल्लिंग समिद्ध अग्नि प्रथम विभक्ति एकवचन भस्मसात् भस्मसात् इज अव्ययम् then कुरुते सत्यं किल कुरुते सत्यं कृ धातु लट् 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 लकार कर्तरि
प्रथम पुरुष
एकवचनः आत्मनेपदी अर्जुन ओ अर्जुन संबोधन विभक्ति प्रथम विभक्ति एकवचन ज्ञानाग्निः ज्ञानाग्नि पुल्लिंग प्रथम विभक्ति एकवचन सर्वकर्माणि सर्वकर्मन् नपुंसकलिंग कर्मणि द्वितीय विभक्ति बहुवचन भस्मसात् भस्मसात् अव्ययम् भस्मन् तस्साति कुरुते कुरु धातु लट् कर्तरि प्रथम पुरुष एकवचन तथा अव्ययम् इदानीं पदार्थ
पठतु महोदय।
अर्जुन हे अर्जुन यथा येन प्रकारेण समिद्धः संदीप्तः अग्निः वह्निः एधांसि काष्ठानि भस्मसात् भस्ममयानि कुरुते करोति तथा तेन प्रकारेण ज्ञानाग्निः ज्ञानरूपः अग्निः सर्वकर्माणि निखिलकर्माणि भस्मसात् भस्ममयानि कुरुते विदधाति। आकांक्षा कुरुते किं कुरुते भस्मसात् कुरुते कानि भस्मसात् कुरुते एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते कम एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते कथं भूतः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा किं भवति यथा समिद्धः अग्निः यथा एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा कः कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः किं कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुते यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः कानि भस्मसात् कुरुते
यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते। अस्मिन् श्लोके संबोधन इत्युक्ते अर्जुनः। तात्पर्यं हे अर्जुन, यथा प्रज्वलन् अग्निः काष्ठानि भस्मसात् करोति तथा ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वाण्यपि कर्माणि भस्मीकरोति।
व्याकरणमपि पठतु।
व्याकरणं सन्धि यथैधांसि, यथा एधांसि वृद्धि संधि। भस्मसात् समिद्धः प्लस अग्निः विसर्ग संधि सकार रेफः उकार तदनन्तरं गुणं पूर्वरूप संधि। अग्निः प्लस भस्मसात् विसर्ग संधि रेपः। कुरुते अर्जुन पूर्वरूप संधि। समासः ज्ञानाग्निः, ज्ञानम् एव अग्निः कर्मधारय। सर्वकर्माणि सर्वाणि कर्माणि कर्मधारय। कृदन्त समिद्धः सम उपसर्ग इंदु धातु त प्रत्यय। अन्वय अर्जुन यथा समिद्धः अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते।
तो अत्र क्रियापदानि कानि? कुरुते एकं क्रियापदं, कुरुते एव
आमां द्विवारम् अस्ति कुरुते।
द्विवारं। सो कर्तृपदं किं? प्रथम कुरुते
कानि भस्म अग्निः कुरुते।
अग्निः कुरुते। अग्निः कं कुरुते?
भस्मसात् कुरुते।
अग्निः एधांसि भस्मसात्
कुरुते।
सो एधांसि कर्मपदं, भस्मसात् विधेय विशेषणम्। Ante the Agni is burning the wood into bhasmam. So the edhansi itself is becoming bhasmam. So edhansi karmapadam bhasmasat karma samanadhikaranam, which is also known as vidheya visheshana. Both of them have the same adhikaranam. Edhansi and bhasmasat have the same adhikaranam, but only the forms are different. So edhansi we take it as karma, and bhasmasat will be karma samanadhikaranam, or we can say vidheya visheshanam. When one thing changes into another, or not necessarily always there is a change, but it has the same thing has a different quality. Like Ramaha Uttamaha Asti. So Ramaha is the Kartrupadam, Uttamaha is the Kartru Samanadhikaranam. Since here it is Karma Padam, Karma and Karma Samanadhikarana or Videya Visheshana. Okay. So here Agnihi, Kidrishaha Agnihi, Sammiddhaha Agnihi, Edhangsi, Bhasmasat Kurute. Yatha Bhasmasat Kurute, Tatha Jnanagnihi, Sarvakarmani, Bhasmasat Kurute. So in the second Kurute, Jnanagnihi is the Karma Padam is the Sarvakarmani. And Bhasmasat will be again Vidheya Visheshana to Sarvakarmani. And the two sentences can be joined with Yatha and Tatha. Yatha Samiddhaha Agnihi Edhamsi Bhasmasat Kurute Tatha
Jnanagnihi Sarvakarmani Bhasmasat Kurute.
That's all. So here also, like how Agni can consume big firewoods, similarly the Jnanagni can consume the karmas. So now again, we all have a question. So how can Jnanam burn the karmas? I am doing the karma. How can the Jnanam simply burn it out? How can I not have any kind of relation with the karma that I have performed? So these are the common questions that we all have regarding whenever it is said that the Jnanam will burn your karmas. When you perform karmas, they do not touch you. Once you attain that Tattva Jnanam, whatever karmas you do, they do not touch you. How is that possible? So here again, Badarayana Maharshi has described karmas into 3 types in the Brahma Sutras. One is prarabdha karma, also known as prarambha karmas. Means these are the karmas that one needs to take a birth. And for this sharira to exist, we have certain karmas called prarabdha karmas. Because of those karmas only, our sharira is existing. We are taking birth because of those karmas, and means we are getting a sharira because of those prarabdha karmas. And the sharira is also in existence because of those prarabdha karmas. And then karmas from previous lives. These are called sanchita karmas. From previous lives, whatever karmas we have done and whatever punyam or papam we have accrued through those karmas are called sanchita karmas. And then itara karmas. Itara karmas are the karmas which we have done in this life before the tattva jnanam. Say, for example, like Buddha is there. He attained that, what do you call that, enlightenment. He got enlightenment at the age of 20 or something, or 17 or 20.
Siddhartha become this Buddha.
So whatever karmas he has done before in that life only, but before he became that Gautama Buddha, those are called itara karmas. So whatever karmas until we have attained the tattva jnana. Again, karmas can be classified as punya karmas and papa karmas. So the prarabdha karmas also, in the prarabdha karmas also we have punya karmas and papa karmas. In the sanchita karmas also we have punya sanchita karmas and papa sanchita karmas. And within the itara karmas of this life also we have punya karmas and papa karmas. So how can all these karmas be neutralized? How can we get rid of all these? In the previous shloka it is said, no matter how many ever papams you have done, with the tattva jnanam you can get rid of everything, all the papams. So how is that happening? How is that happening? So basically how that happens is, again, there is a Upanishad Vakyam that says that once the Paramatma Jnanam is attained, none of the karmas touches. All the karmas from the previous Sanchita karmas and Itara karmas will be burnt. Okay, and whatever we are going to do after we attain the Tattva Jnanam, we still are here. The minute we attain the Tattva Jnanam, suddenly we do not attain moksha and disappear. Like Gautama Buddha, for example. He got that enlightenment, but he's still there. He's still there. So he has been performing some karmas. He has been giving upadesham to some kings. He has been, going here and there. And so he has been performing some karmas. So, but those karmas that you do after you attain the Tattva Jnanam, after you obtain that Tattva Jnanam, they will not touch you. Like how the leaf, the lotus leaf cannot get wet. Like that, after we get the Tattva Jnanam, Paramatma Tattva Jnanam, after we get whatever karmas we do, they do not touch us. And whatever papam and punyam we have from before, they are all burnt. Except for the prarabdha karmas. The prarabdha karmas will not get burnt. They will not get burnt. Why? Because if they are also burnt, the sharira will fall. Because the prarabdha karmas are the ones which keep the sharira. If the sharira drops, if all the prarabdha karmas, sanchita karmas, itara karmas, everything, if they get burnt with enlightenment, then say for example, Janaka Maharaja. He's a Siddha Purusha, but he still is there. Why? Because he's setting an example to other people how to follow the karma marga. Similarly, a couple of shlokas behind, we discussed about this person who was found under a vehicle in a vanam and who is not very clean or very healthy. So he also is looking to lead the life of a grihastha ashrama. Why? Because he wants to set an example to other grihasthas how to lead a karma marga life. If they do not have their sharira, how are they going to set an example to others? The minute they attain tattva jnanam, if even the prarabdha karmas are burnt, then the sharira will drop and they cannot set an example to others. Nobody will be left.
Yes, yes.
Prarabdha karmas will remain. They will not get burnt. Even after you get the Paramatma Jnanam, the Prarabdha karmas will still remain. And during that time, their only work is to wait. They have to wait until all their Prarabdha karmas dissolve. Until they have to experience all the Prarabdha karmas. And then during that time, they are setting an example to other people because they have already attained Siddhi. So they will be leading a life, doing karmas. In the karma marga, they will be, and without any attachment, without any phalapeksha, they will be doing the karmas. So looking at them, other people will understand how to do karmas without phalapeksha, how to have preeti without vyamoham, how to look at everything as Paramatma. So that they will be setting an example to people around them. So people around them will look at them. Oh, this is how I have to practice the preeti with everything without having vyamoha. So this is how I have to treat everybody equally because everybody has Paramatma in them. So this is how I have to respect the environment around me. This is how I have to treat the animals around me also with some kind of compassion. This is how I have to, not show my emotions. So I have to have my indriyas under control. This is how I have to practice. So all this by looking at such people, the common people will learn. So their prarabdha karmas will not get burnt. So when will they finally get burnt? After, like how we also discussed that you rotate a wheel. Rotate a wheel and then you stop rotating. As long as you are rotating it with your hand, it is turning. But the minute you stop, you leave the hand, still the wheel will turn for a while and then it will stop. Because while we are turning the wheel, it has accrued some velocity. The minute we let go, it will go until that velocity becomes zero. Till then the wheel will turn, like the fan in our house. Once you switch it on, it will start. Once it is in full speed, you switch off the fan. The current supply is stopped.
Correct.
But fan did not stop.
Fan will move.
It will move until that velocity completely becomes to zero. So similarly, even after we attain the Tattvajnanam, the Prarabdha karmas will be there. And until the Prarabdha karmas are completely burnt out, that Sharira will be there. And once the Prarabdha karmas are slowly, like we only have to spend it off. So once that Prarabdha karmas are spent, then the Sharira will fall. Until then, what is the purpose of this Sharira after attaining Tattvajnanam and until the Prarabdha karmas are spent? The reason why the Prarabdha karmas are not burnt and used are for the person, because he has already attained Siddhi, he will set an example to others by practicing Karma Marga. So that is the reason. So this is all given in the Brahma Sutras by Badarayana. Okay.
So the sequence is from Itara Karma to Sanchita Karma, then lastly Prarabdha Karma.
Itara Karma, Sanchita Karma will get burnt in the same time. The Sanchita Karmas and Itara Karmas will get burnt the minute you attain the Tattvajnanam. The Prarabdha Karmas will still remain. Why? Because your Sarira has to be there to set an example to others. So during that time, you will not face any difficulties. During that, after you attain Tattvajnanam, because Tattvajnanam itself is experiencing
beyond that range.
Beyond that pain, beyond that worldly discomfort. So you are already at that state where you are experiencing only bliss. So your life, no matter what is thrown at you, you are still, what do you say, at peace. We have discussed that also. There is this yogi who is sitting and practicing meditation or something. So then what happens? Some people will come and some kids, they will see him. He doesn't take care of his Sharira also, because he is looking at Sharira also as not himself. Sharira is different. Atma is different. Now we all are thinking Sharira and Atma. I am only the Sharira. That is what I'm thinking. But that yogi will not, because he is a yogi, he has already acquired that kind of knowledge. He knows that the Sharira is not his. But he will keep that Sharira. Though it is not his, he will not leave the Sharira. He will not force himself to leave the Sharira, because there is a purpose why he came into that Sharira. Until the purpose is done, you have to take care of the Sharira. So what he take care in the sense, you should not leave the Sharira by force. So what he does is, he will simply sit. If somebody offers him something, he will eat. If nobody offers anything, he will starve. So like that he is there. So some people think he is a madman. Some kids, they will think he is a madman. They will throw stones. Some people, they will realize that he is a Siddha Purusha, and they will go and offer some palaharam. So like this, everybody, the way they look at him is different. Okay, so here also, but he is in that state of bliss, so nothing will bother him. Some people throw stones at him, he doesn't mind. Some people will offer fruits, he will take them. So no matter what, nothing, because he has already attained that Tattva Jnanam, nothing can disturb him. So he will be in that state of bliss. So, but that Sharira will be there as long as his Prarabdha karmas are there. Only after the Prarabdha karmas are also experienced, completely used out, then that Sharira will drop and he will attain Paramapadam. Like he will go and join the Paramatma. He will not be seen anywhere anymore in the Sharira. So that is how. So how will these the Sanchita karmas and the Itara karmas get burnt? Like how a dried grass will burn in Agni. It will take only a fraction of a second for dried grass. So similarly, once we attain the Tattva Jnanam, all our Sanchita karmas and the Itara karmas will get burnt, but the Prarabdha karmas will remain. Why? Because we have to set an example to the people around us.
Satyam.
So that is in this shloka. Vedamsi samidhognir brahma bhasmasat kurute juna jnaninaha jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat
kurute.
So that is something that we need to understand and keep in mind. So we don't have to worry. Our focus should be only on how to attain the Tattva Jnanam. We don't have to worry about the karmas, the papa and the punya that we have acquired. Once we understand the Paramatma Tattvam, all those will be burnt. So if they are not yet burnt, it means we have not yet understood the Paramatma Tattvam. Many times that confusion also we have. Did we still understand the Tattva Jnanam? I think it appears like I have understood what it is, but I have still not completely understood. So that also we can test ourselves in that way. Okay. So we'll continue in the next class because we are almost close.
Short of us.
Okay. So we'll stop here. Any questions?
48, 39, 40.
So we have studied until
42. 5 slokas are there for this. Left.
37. We have studied until 37.
4 more. 4 more are there, madam.
5 more are there.
That will complete in the next class.
Yes.
Astu.
5 more or 4 more? 42. Yes.
42. 5 more.
5 more. 5 more shlokas.
Alivenu Bhagini. Dhanyawad.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद भगिनी नमस्कारः सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः
सर्वेभ्यः शुभरात्रि सर्वेभ्यः